Hello there. It's a European extravaganza from Setanta Sports to get the new campaign underway this evening. The Champions League is about to resume later tonight. Chelsea against Bordeaux and the best of Marseille-Liverpool. But there is more. It is a major night too for Irish football as St Patrick's Athletic look to reach a kind of promised land of their own in the UEFA Cup. And that's where we will be starting shortly with live coverage from Germany of Hertha Berlin against St Pat's. Kick-off is just a few minutes away. We should welcome Brian Little alongside Pat and myself here first, though. It's great to have you both with us. And what we hope, of course, Pat, will be an auspicious occasion for Irish football. Just be a perfect tonic, wouldn't it, at this stage? But dare we dream the dream?
Well, I think St Pat's have to dream. They were 2-0 down in the first leg of the last tie against Elfsborg after 20 minutes. It didn't look very likely they'd be here today. Can they win? Unlikely. But what they can do is keep the tie alive. And to get a German team in the UEFA Cup competition, it's not impossible. And yet it's great TV revenue. It's a great tie for St Pat's. You've
been in surely many situations like this during your long and distinguished management career, Brian. Yeah. What are the essentials for St Patrick's tonight?
Second leg belief. I think to go to the game, the fans, the players, the board, the manager, and everybody believe they've got a chance is their target tonight. To really try and focus on making it a hard game for the home side, coming back with something.
Judged on the results so far in the campaign this season, apparently they were all as good as out in the first leg against Elfsborg, but they turned that around and brought them back to Inchicore and stole their moment so well, didn't they?
Yeah, and again, it looked unlikely. Then they found themselves 1-0 down at home after battling back bravely in Sweden. In the previous round, it was the first time ever in the history of St Pat's they'd ever won a tie in Europe away from home.
Great to see an Irish team at any level doing it late as well.
Well, you know, this
in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, this put them through on away goals, and they just embellished it then by getting the insurance goal. Quigley beats the offside trap. You'd have to question the defending, but it was a wonderful night in Inchicore.
On form, should they have done that?
Well, you know, if you look at the revenue that the top Swedish teams, Elfsborg are currently second in the Swedish league. They spend a lot more money than even St Pat's do. So yes, it was an upset, but in recent seasons, Irish teams against Swedish teams have normally come out on top. So, you know, while there's a lot of doom and gloom about the product, the actual standard of performance in Europe has improved.
Here's John McDonnell's selection tonight. Pat, your thoughts? Of course, a former St Pat's manager yourself.
Well, it's a footballing side, and I think tonight is the key is in the wide areas. Ryan Guy's a very exciting player. Alan Kirby, experienced. They're going to have to give some sort of width. They're going to have to be an outlet when Pats have the ball. But how do they do the defensive shift and still have the energy to feed Quigley and O'Neill? Yeah. Because if they can get the ball to Quigley and O'Neill, they're a decent partnership.
Yeah, I've got a feeling one of them might drop off a little bit deeper as well, though, to leave the one man up there occasionally. You know, I think away from home in these sort of ties, it's a brave move playing really attack-minded football. So I wouldn't be surprised to see occasionally more of a five-man midfield. Someone just dropping off, just trying to make sure that they don't get totally comfortable. But as in their first game, you know, if they can score a goal tonight, that's the belief that will give everybody a chance in the second leg. So it's all about defending, but if there is a goal in them, what a massive bonus that is for
Brian,
them.
What about the opposition tonight?
Well, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing Kassar. I've heard a lot about him. You know, he's got
44 down the left.
Yeah, he got transferred in the pre-season and scoring goals. And I think he's going to be one to look at. You know, Serbian players crop up all over the world in football. This lad's only 21, so, you know, potentially he could go on and be something special.
This was the Bundesliga game at the weekend. They had Wolfsburg at home. They went behind in the first minute, I think it was, to Costa's goal. Well, what did you make of their performance after that? Well,
I think if you look at that, again, set pieces, it just shows how dangerous the, you know, sides abroad are from set pieces, both offences. So, you know, it doesn't matter. I mean, they've scored a good goal themselves from a set piece. Occasionally will get caught out. A missed penalty there, you know, by Pantelic, and that is a real poor one from their point of view. But, you know, I think you've just got to be careful of them because they're playing a hard league and they're good teams and there's some quality in the side, and we mustn't forget that.
Look at this defending, though. There is hope. The fact they conceded from a set piece. I mean, they wanted to kill the game there. They wanted to improve and they couldn't do it. But I think if St Pat's fans see Lucien Favre, the Hertha Berlin manager, going absolutely bananas after about 85 minutes, then Pat's have had a good night.
It's not like you've been there or you've been there, of course.
Most certainly.
More good news for St Patrick's Athletic supporters. Loads of confidence in the camp.
Yeah, very confident. I mean, we've had a busy schedule, but I think the game with its importance now looked at to it it's going to be a massive game, but confidence is fairly good.
Playing against a team like Hertha, they're a massive team in Europe, and they'd have great players, a lot of internationals playing, so it's going to be very tough for us. This year we haven't been beaten away from home in Europe, so we've won and drawn a game away from home, so that's decent for us. So it will be confident enough, but not overly confident.
It's very upbeat. I think we've had, it's a busy schedule. We've had a few poor results for our standards. But I think looking at this game, it's a one-off game, and I think we're going to be upbeat, looking forward to it, and enjoy the whole week.
You're going to play in the Olympic Stadium. I think the venue is a massive thing as well. I don't know what sort of attendance will be there, but obviously the reward after this is massive for a League of Ireland club. If we could manage to get through this round, obviously you're in the group stages, and that's unheard of for a League of Ireland club. So yeah, I think this is the biggest game of most lads' career because of the reward that's after it.
Well, they couldn't have set it up any better for us. Is that the St. Pat's travelling support? Let's hope so. Let's hope they're not on their own. I think actually they're well supported as ever. The best of the League of Ireland on show in the Olympic Stadium. Well, some shirts would have helped, I suppose. It's next. Champions League coverage gets underway in the new season this evening. Chelsea against Bordeaux is our first live game of the campaign. 7:05 on Setanta Ireland, and also tonight the best of the Marseille-Liverpool game, highlights from 9:50 on Setanta Ireland. Tomorrow night the choice is yours. We have 2 live Champions League games for you. It's Celtic-Aalborg from 7 on Setanta Ireland, and Dynamo Kiev against Arsenal live from 7 on Setanta Sports 1. And in the UEFA Cup on Thursday night, Tottenham Hotspur against Wisla Krakow, Thursday 7:30 Setanta Ireland. And we have UEFA Cup action before all that right now, live here on Setanta Sports. Hertha Berlin against St. Patrick's Athletic coming up shortly from the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. There's a pot of gold awaiting St. Pat's. Pat, the former manager, of course, and we heard from one or two of, not quite your ex-players, but fellas you know so well. What is it worth to St. Pat's if they can make it to the group stages?
Well, it's a difference between dealing hundreds of thousands and millions. Obviously, there's the financial direct benefit from prize money from UEFA, TV revenue, but there's also the added terms of prestige and credibility. You become more attractive to sponsors. So it is a huge night for St. Pat's. I mean, it's a massive stadium. It's going to be interesting to see what the mentality is. You hear the players talking, they're saying the right things. But it's very different talking about it and actually going to do it. And I think the way that John McDonnell deploys Gary Dempsey, whether he puts him in front of the midfield and withdraws one of the strikers, they're a football inside. Do they have the courage to play football? Because they wouldn't have got through the previous tie without the away goals. OK, the last goal didn't make it absolutely necessary. I think they have to score tonight.
Brian Little, last word from you.
Well, the key is doing well tonight. Because without tonight, then it all goes up in smoke, doesn't it? And this is the big one, without a doubt. You know, you go into games like this and you are in the right frame of mind, but you've got to get through the opening 20 minutes, especially so, with everything intact, and then your confidence will grow from there on.
Well, that's obviously for the good of Irish football, and it has such a huge knock-on effect on the whole league, does it not? The players themselves, we heard from Brian, speaking about it being the biggest game of their careers.
Without a doubt.
Do you feel they're ready for it on what they've done just this season?
I think looking at the last game, they've learnt an awful lot from the last game. They've done their business away from home, which gave everybody that second leg belief, which is the most unbelievable thing you can give. If everybody goes to the home game with the belief that we've got a chance, then they've done the work tonight.
I was right first time. They are St. Pat's fans. And great to see them well followed. They're a fantastic club in so many ways. And let's hope it's only the start of what could become their best ever season. This is important, therefore, and it's Curtis Fleming and Des Curran for commentary.
They went into the third round qualifying draw alongside the likes of Ajax, Benfica and AC Milan, illustrious clubs with rich European histories. And this evening, St. Patrick's Athletic from Inchicore hope to take a major step towards creating their own piece of history. The magnificent Olympic Stadium in Berlin, scene of the 2006 World Cup final, will host the biggest night in the footballing careers of these players as they seek to propel Pats into the group stages of the UEFA Cup. Well, let's check on the teams. Lucien Favre makes 3 changes to the Hertha side that drew 2-2 here on Saturday against Wolfsburg. Patrick Ebert and Raphael not involved today, and Steve von Bergen drops to the bench. Coming in centre half Kaká, Polish international Lukas Piszczek and Pal Dardai, a seasoned Hungarian international. Ones to watch, certainly the 2 Serbians. Under 21 international Gojko Kasar, who although new into the club is already attracting the interest of some very big European outfits. And senior star Marko Pantelic, 6 goals in 8 games this season. As for St. Pat's, Johnny McDonnell without Stephen Paisley and John Murphy through injury, but crucially he's seen Keith Fahey cleared to play after he missed the last 2 with a knee problem. Jamie Harris was part of the Shelbourne side that went on that memorable Champions League qualifying odyssey 4 years ago. And up front, Mark Quigley, 20 goals for the campaign, 3 of those in European action. Our referee comes from Poland, Tomasz Mikulski. And the 2 captains, German international Arne Friedrich, over 60 caps, and Jamie Harris. Early thoughts, Curtis?
I'm really looking forward to this day. I think it could be a historic night. I know we're talking about finances and what it would mean to St. Pat's to go back to the RDS on the 30th with something to play for, but I honestly do think they can get a goal tonight, and with the concentration, they've got a bit of experience through the team, and Joe McDonald believes he can get something from the game tonight, and that's the one thing he's worked on the last 3 days, just telling them that they deserve to be there tonight. They deserve to be in this round, and they've got a chance to go through the great group stages.
Well, there is Andre Voronin back in German football. He had 4 clubs in the Bundesliga before heading to Liverpool, back now on loan, made his debut on Saturday, and he will be alongside Marko Pantelic. He is the danger man, though I doubt if he'll be on penalties tonight.
I think we've seen the reaction of Favre on Sunday when they played Wolfsburg. I don't think he'll be on them tonight. He's probably lucky he's playing, Des.
Well, what a massive occasion for St. Pat's, who have got here the hard way. Saw off Olymps with relative ease in the first qualifying round, but then went to Elfsborg, 2 goals down after 29 minutes, fought back with 2 away goals, and then emerged victorious at Richmond Park by 2-1, with 2 goals in the last 5 minutes from Jason Gavin and Mark Quigley. And those 2 games in particular have shown the character of the St. Pat side, character that will be truly tested here at the Olympic Stadium this evening. A positive start crucial for Pats. Hertha conceded in the very first minute here on Saturday. They've shipped 6 goals in their last 2 outings, but Pats themselves will have to be stronger defensively, as theirs is a similar story. Here's Fahey, cleared to play. His right knee was a real cause of concern for the Pats medical staff. Kasar tried that little flick. Stein helps it forward. Here's Piszczek, who started on the left-hand side. Stein from left back coming forward. Cicero. Pantelic lets it run, and clearance from Jason Gavin.
It just shows Des playing away from home. As soon as they give it away, give Hertha Berlin a chance to get the ball down, have 5 or 6 passes and cause them problems. It's going to be so important that when they get a chance, that they keep possession. They're good enough players in the team to do that, and hopefully they don't panic.
O'Neill and Quigley, you can see Quigley just dropping off. Dardai, lay off from Voronin. Pats have it back in a run here for Gary O'Neill. And Kaká restored to the Hertha side today, seeing him off. Looking for the feed of O'Neill. It's a good hold up centre forward. And Pats have the throw in. Hertha Berlin, one-time UEFA Cup semi-finalists, that back, 1979 now. And they lost on away goals to what's now Red Star Belgrade. qualified for this competition a couple of seasons back as well, but went out at the first round stage to Odense. A side that St. Pat's will know well. Here's Simunic. And Cicero played in a Copa Libertadores final this season for Fluminense. And by my reckoning, 8 of this starting 11 for Hertha were away on recent international duty. Slip forward towards Kassar. Harris out trying to deal with him. Pantelic. And Jason Gavin had his hand up there. Pantelic was appealing, but the referee says play on.
You get good bit of play there from Hertha Berlin. Looked like it was ball to hand okay, but I don't think you can do much when the ball hits you from about a yard away. Good decision from the referee there.
It was Cicero letting fly. He opened his account for the club against Wolfsburg on Saturday, but this was the shout from Pantelic.
He's put his hand up, you know. Some would say that he shouldn't be putting his hands up there, but it's good defending from Jason Gavin. He's just getting his body in there, unlucky that the ball's in his hand, and I think it would have been a very harsh penalty.
And they went behind to a penalty at Elfsborg. And Jason Gavin will just have to be careful in those situations. If you're seen as making yourself a bigger obstacle to pass by raising your arms, often referees will see that as a penalty kick. Friedrich. Dardai. Well, Johnny McDonnell will be, I'm sure, thinking of breaking this game mentally up into minutes. 4 minutes past, they'll be looking to get to 5 to 10 to 15 just to keep it tight. Cicero looks quite neat and tidy on it, always making himself available. Stein. Who's first to this? It's Pantelic, but Dempsey gets a good foot in. It's their 37th game of the season. St. Pat's has been taking its toll a little of late. There have been some injuries for the manager to contend with. Strong side out tonight, though.
I just think if Barry Ryan does pick the ball up, it's important that he tries to play instead of kicking it long, because Simunic wants that all day. Maybe kick it out to Ryan Guy, who's very good in the air, but if he knocks too many balls up, Simunic will have a field day against Gary O'Neill and Mark Quigley, who aren't the biggest.
Here is Simunic, was part of the Croatian side humbled by England. He's also the man, you might remember, issued with 3 yellow cards before being sent off at the 2006 World Cup, ironically against Australia, the country of his birth. Kaka. Friedrich. Looks for the runner, and again Harris reading the situation well. Such a wonderful surface to play on. And that should suit St. Pat's as well. Obviously the home side are used to it, but Pat's a footballing side. Like to get it down and play. And Dempsey could be a crucial factor for them. He's missed only 1 game all season, Gary Dempsey. Here goes Fahy. Picks out Quigley. Now O'Neill. Quigley again. This is good from Pat's. There's O'Neill trying to slide in Guy.
It's a great bit of football again, Des, isn't it? Sharp, incisive passing from Pat's, and that should really give them a lot of confidence.
Now Lynch will have to deal with that. He gave a difficult one to his goalkeeper. Barry Ryan did well. Kirby. Gets the nod tonight ahead of Derek O'Brien, who's one of the Pat substitutes. And you don't want to romanticise the whole occasion too much, Curtis, but for someone like Alan Kirby, who's been around the game and been around the clubs for a long time, occasions like this are huge.
Well, that's it, and I think you remember them if you do well, and hopefully he does. Sometimes people get to play in the big stages, forget what they're there for. They think it's just a good night out. But Alan Kirby's a very, very good pro, and he'll really relish the chance of playing such a big stadium against such quality opposition.
There's Lucien Favre, 50 years of age now. It's a dangerous tie for him, really. Expected Hertha to go through, by the German media and their fans, to go through comfortably. You might be able to hear Johnny McDonnell already encouraging. Some of the replacements from Hertha Berlin. Quite a young bench, all told. Here's Voronin looking to turn provider. What a touch from Ryan Guy as Piszczek was winding up.
As we said, as much as Ryan Guy is a threat going forward and in the box, he works his socks off, and it's absolutely fantastic covering. He just spots the danger there, uses his pace again. A great touch. It's a goal scoring opportunity, great job, and he's going to need to do that most of the evening.
Here's the set piece. Hertha have some big men to put in the box. Friedrich muscled off it. Good defending, Jason Gavin. Well, Pats will come here respecting their opponents, obviously, but their away record this season is better than their record in Inchicore. They played 19 away fixtures, beaten just 3 times at Derry in the Setanta Sports Cup, at UCD when Johnny McDonnell put out an experimental side in the League Cup, and then recently in the League at Bohemians when they were shorn of several regulars and had Derek O'Brien sent off inside half an hour. They have a nice setup, a very disciplined setup when they're on the road, and in the likes of this man Fahy, the ability to pick a ball out, though not quite on that occasion. Desi Byrne, Dempsey, Fahy wants it, Cicero coming to him, then forward towards Guy, clever header, Quigley can't return the favour. Hertha began in the first qualifying round like St. Pat's. They beat a Moldovan side, Nistru Otaki, 8-1 here in the first leg. Drew the second 0-0 as some of the youngsters got a run out, and then saw off the wonderfully named Interblock Ljubljana of Slovenia. 2-0 away, 1-0 home. Johnny McDonnell just asking Mark Quigley to follow Cicero as he ambled forward.
I think what they've done very well, he's worked on the organisation of Quigley dropping in on the sitters, but you have 2 sitters that play Dardan and Cicero when they're missing Kakard in there, who usually bombs on as 1 sitter, so it's going to be a lot of concentration from the 2 frontmen that they do drop in and help out the midfield players.
Pantelic in a race here with Gavin. Safety first.
The big thing is Voronin. He's not really playing in any set position. He's rotating around the park. He's letting Piszczek come in off the line, and he's going up on the left. And again, it's going to have to be a lot of concentration from the Pats players.
Pantelic. Dardai made a little run for him. Goes instead for Cicero. Damien Lynch stepping out to avert the danger. Time and space here for Simunic. Friedrich. A misunderstanding there, and Gary O'Neill quick to react. And as his manager is shouting, keep the ball, O'Neill has given it away to Voronin. And from a long way out, and his goal scoring record isn't a good one. Neither with Liverpool nor we saw him with Leverkusen, didn't we, a few seasons back. Always seemed to get into the positions, but certainly not the most prolific, Andre Voronin.
I was looking at his stats. He played 188 games in the Bundesliga, and that's one of the reasons why Hertha went for him. He speaks fluent German, and he knew he'd probably settle into the team. But again, I think in those 188 games, he scored 35, 37 goals, so it's not prolific. But even when he went to Liverpool, he didn't really set the world alight. So, you know, he's manageable, I think, for the Pats defence.
You wonder as well, as his arrival, sometimes it can work to the detriment of a side if it means changing how they approach a game, and it has been Rafael, the Brazilian, alongside Pantelic up to Voronin's arrival. And the manager has been saying that Voronin needs to find his place in the side. Simunic. First time for him to advance. Werner Friedrich Dardai looks to switch it out to the left. Cicero. Pantelic. Gary Dempsey gets a foot in again. And now Quigley will have to hold on. And he's been knocked off it by Stein.
It's too easy, Des. They're working so hard to contain the attacks from Hertha, but every time you get it, they're giving it away.
Stein to provide. Pantelic steps over. Whacked clear by Fahy. Hertha, as expected, dominating possession.
But Des, they haven't really hurt him. A lot of the play's been right in front of him, but when Pats do get it, we've seen O'Neill give it away a couple of minutes ago quickly. When they do that, they've got to have the belief and the quality to keep the ball and get a few passes in.
Pantelic could hold up play with Gavin right at his back. Cicero slips it through Pantelic again. Oh, he slid a lovely ball through here. Piszczek, great chance. He's pulled it back for Pantelic, and Ryan makes an incredible save.
What a save, Des. What a save.
Well, he's kept them at 0-0 there, Barry Ryan. The opportunity was there for Piszczek to take it on himself. He looked to just bring in his top scorer, Pantelic, and from point blank range, Barry Ryan somehow got a hand on it.
Initially he looked offside the striker there when Pantelic slipped him in, but again, has the fence switched off. Ryan was on his toes there, point blank, absolutely fantastic save.
And Pantelic has acknowledged it. A little nod of appreciation to the goalkeeper. And the corner will come to naught. But the first real worrying moment has passed without concession.
It's a great little dink ball in, isn't it? And great pick out, gets his foot to it, an absolutely fantastic save. Straight at him, but again, great agility, and then good follow-up play from Harris. They're going to need a few heroes tonight, and Barry Ryan could be having one of those nights.
Just thinking back to a wonder save he made against Shamrock Rovers at Talca Park against Tyke Purcell. He does have that in him, and it's an encouraging sign. They'll need him to play well tonight. He could be busy. That's better from O'Neill. Now Dempsey. Guy. Lynch getting forward outside of him. Back to Dempsey once more. Forward by Gavin. Easy header away by Simunic, a veteran of 2 European Championships, 2 World Cups. Kirby. And Fahy. Dinks it out to Desi Byrne. Fahy again, Kassar looking to close him down. Whistle has gone here. And there
he is. We were thinking he was offside. It's a great pass, great run. I think it's Damien Lynch keeps him on there, just reacts late. Then it's a great pick out there from Piszczek, but fantastic save from Barry Ryan. And again, good follow-up from Jamie Harris. Great save.
Well, you can't take anything away from the save, but Pantelic was just stretching. But Ryan had to make the save, and what a save it was. Well, look at the clock, confirms we've passed 16 minutes at the Olympic Stadium. Still Hertha Berlin 0, St Patrick's Athletic 0.
Take him up! Take him up!
Guy being encouraged to have a little run here at Stein. Still he goes, Ryan Guy. He's done well, he's managed to dig out across Simunic. Loose header now, Fahy. And not a good delivery. Gavin takes advantage of a slip from Kassar, who's after coming in field looking to get a little more involved. Stepping out is Simunic.
Here we can hear John McDonald commentating for us there, Des. I don't think we probably need it tonight.
Friedrich for Pantelic. Just looked to sell the dummy to Harris, who wasn't buying that. And his ball forward. Just a little bit too much on it.
That's just what I think they need, a bit of belief there. So just giving it away, it's a bit of a 50-50 ball. No great quality. You've worked hard, you've defended very hard. When you win the ball, the transition then to try and keep it so important.
So Favre there, yeah. Came to Hertha from FC Zurich for last season. Won a couple of league titles in his time in Switzerland with Von Bergen, who's on the bench, and Raphael, who's not in the squad today. It's a foul by Pantelic on Desi Byrne. With 2 10th-place finishes in the last 2 seasons for Hertha. Voronin holding off Lynch. Voronin's back for more. Look to a little 1-2 with Cicero, well read by Fahy. Pantelic's layoff, Voronin. I'm sure something Johnny McDonald would have picked up on. It's obviously a Bundesliga outfit they're facing, but several new faces in the Hertha side this season as Friedrich gets forward. Perhaps Pats will be hoping they haven't gelled just yet. Dardai needs to come deep, and Lynch, great communication there. You could hear the shout, free header.
Yeah, there's a bit of experience in that Pats back forward. Damien Lynch, Jamie Harris has played in Europe before. I played myself in Premiership with Jason Gavin, you know, so there is a bit of quality there in the defence, and they're going to be called upon tonight not to panic. Great header there from Damien Lynch, and it settles the whole team down.
And they've played a lot of games recently. I'd say questions might be asked of their fitness. Oh, a mistake here in Dempsey. Well, 6s and 7s, Yaroslav, Drobny and Kaka. And that's what we're saying. Kaka, one of the new arrivals, and perhaps the communication lacking there.
That's it, Des. Again, you know, there's no communication. I think it's only his third game, Kaka. He played against Bayern Munich. Bad defending there. To be fair, Drobny doesn't shout. You know, and that gives you a bit of belief that, you know, good run on from Dempsey from the midfield area and gives you half a chance. But now you're looking, say, can we play on Kaka? Can we get something off him? Because he looks a little bit nervous.
Well, it's little moments like that that might create a little doubt in the Hertha minds and will give Pat something to be thinking about. We were talking, just asking the question about their fitness. They've been flying all season. And when you look at the preparation now compared to, say, 10 years ago, Curtis, of an Irish side going into Europe, and you see Johnny McDonald heading over for this game, went on Saturday, the team travelled on Saturday, 4 days in Sweden prior to the Elfsborg game, and it all makes a difference.
It does. You know, sometimes it comes down to, you know, financially, can you do it? But Pats have backed them, and they've got the rewards for it. But I just looked at every season, the league, the players, they seem to be getting fitter, more professional, and a lot of them probably started their careers in England and have come back and have been brought up with that professional mentality. And it's one thing that we've commented in the League of Ireland, how quick and how fit the lads look.
Speaking of other clubs, you look at Drogheda and Kiev this season, came so close. Kiev went on to hammer Spartak Moscow, and they'll be playing Arsenal, a game you can see live here in their Champions League group opener tomorrow. 2006, Derry went out to Paris Saint-Germain in the UEFA Cup after beating Gothenburg and Gretna. In 2004, we've mentioned Shelburne put out Hajduk Split, and then came up against Deportivo 0-0 in front of 24,000 at Lansdowne Road before they were beaten at the Riazor. But well, will St. Pat's be the first side to get into a group stage? You look at the clock, we've played more or less a quarter of the game, still 0-0.
Everybody talks about that golden minute, the 20 minutes. Can we keep a clean sheet with the first 20 minutes? We know they're going to come at them. Hertha Berlin have come at Pats, maybe not, you know, the power and pace, you know, they haven't handed them under the cosh, but what they are doing is they're asking questions, and the concentration's been very, very good from the Pats team. They look like they're well drilled.
Interesting as well that Johnny McDonald has really put his faith in the way he believes his side should play. Selected both Quigley and O'Neill, and while Quigley does drop off a little bit, it would have been an easy option for Johnny McDonald to come to a place like this and to play just one up, pack the midfield. Some defending to do here though, and Barry Ryan comfortably waving at that one as it whistled over. Piszczek,
Again, as Pisicek is changing, you know, with Voronin, they're switching. Kashar isn't playing in a position. They're rotating around, they're picking up different areas in the park, and again he bombs on and gets a strike in just inside the box. But again, you know, you're happy about shooting from distance. You wouldn't expect to be getting beaten from there, Barry Ryan.
Still in fine voice, the Hertha fans. Gary O'Neill, who's had a wretched luck really when it's come to European games. He started home against Salzburg, was his first game in Europe in 4 years, when there have been opportunities for many more, but when they've come around he's always seems to be injured, and very unfortunate in that respect.
There's a great cameo there. He's looking at the linesman, showing how high Simonic is there, and he fell over with just the slightest touch.
And just psychologically putting a little thought maybe into the assistant referee's mind. Might get the next decision, O'Neill. Here's Fahy. Friedrich stretching, takes it in. And Dardai back to Kaka. And now Simonic. Cicero, Pantelic, Kassar. Yet to see him do anything of note. Just get the impression he doesn't like operating in the wider positions. Two men going for the one ball, Simonic and Kaka. Dempsey and Kirby. Could flick that one. Guy looking to get onto it, not this time though. Salzburg have played 4 league games. They began with a win at Eintracht Frankfurt, drew 1-1 here against Arminia Bielefeld, lost 4-1 at Bayern Munich, and then, as we said, drew 2-2 here on Saturday. They've been scoring goals but shipping them as well. Pantelic brings Harris out with him. Now looks to provide, should be spacing behind her for Voronin. There's the cross, the header down. Cicero was making a move from midfield. Here's Pantelic. Look how many red and white shirts are back there. Guy quickly out to Stein. And gets the slightest of blocks, a telling block on his cross, and Guy on it once more. Here's Dempsey. Cicero, Voronin, looking to skip away. Pantelic wandering and roaming. And Stein will go for Friedrich. Pisicek. Cicero. Look at Mark Quigley back there, hustling and harrying. Now everyone from Pat's behind the ball, and Hertha forced back into their own half. Kaka. Dardai. Stein. Friedrich advancing, Kassar. Cicero. And Dempsey just giving that protection in front of his back four. Ahead of him, Fahy and Kirby and Guy working hard. And Desi Byrne has lost out here.
Got to be very careful there, Desi Byrne. I think if you're going to show him, you might as well show him down the line. He's letting him go, drive on the inside of him right into the box and cause problems. I think John McDonough will be saying to him, just show him the line, let's see what he's got. Has he got pace? Has he got a trick, Friedrich?
Friedrich again looking to work it on the right side with Piszczek. Now Fahy. Lynch. Fahy wants it back, goes instead for Dempsey. This man rarely wastes a pass. He picks out Kirby. The boss wants men in the box here, but not a good ball from Kirby. Kaka anticipated, and now he's in the Pats half. And still he goes, the centre half, running against Jamie Harris here. And that's a foul from Harris. And Kaka, who picked it up, read the pass inside his own half, has earned Hertha Berlin a free kick deep in Pat's territory.
Again, it's good pace. I don't know what the centre-back is doing up there, Des, but he showed a bit of quality bombing on there. That's probably all the Brazilians do. Definitely a free kick, but again, it comes from Pat's giving the ball away needlessly.
They've been disciplined, Pats. They haven't conceded many free kicks in dangerous areas. With some defending to do here. Kaka, not surprisingly, has stayed forward. It's going to be Voronin to take. It's a loaded penalty area. He pulls it back to Kassar. Well, Pat's fortunate that neither of the two men at the back, Cicero or Kaka, got a toe on that.
Well, we've built Kassar up at the start of the season, from start of the game, sorry, saying how good a season he's had. It's a great, well-worked free kick. I guess Jamie Harris loses him there. And it's a great cutback from Voronin. He'd be disappointed he didn't hit the target there, but it's a well-worked free kick. That's off the training ground, that does. Free shot from the edge of the box, and he should be hitting the target.
And don't forget that later tonight, stay with us as the Champions League group stage kicks off. Chelsea versus Bordeaux, coverage from 7:05 here on Setanta Ireland. Tomorrow night we'll be live as Celtic take on Aalborg. Coverage from 7 also on Setanta Ireland. On Setanta Sports 1 you can see Dynamo Kiev, the side who put out Drogheda United in the qualifiers, take on Arsenal again from 7 tomorrow evening. And for the moment our attention's very much on the UEFA Cup, and certainly from a defensive point of view, so far so good for St. Pat's. Barry Ryan to thank for one wonder save, but that apart, they've handled Hertha pretty well. We've reached the half-hour mark. The next landmark will be the half-time whistle without conceding. Kassar, Dardai, Cicero, closed down by Fahy. Simunic. Cicero onto Voronin. Squeezes one through. There's Pantelic running again, and now Cicero in the area. Desi Byrne was physical with his challenge, but it was illegal one, says the referee.
And a good defending there from Desi Byrne. I don't think it's the Hertha Berlin players seem to be going down very easily there, but again, great tracking from Desi Byrne. Gets his body in the way and gets the tackle.
And encouraging from a Pat's point of view that the referee is prepared to allow the physical side of the game. They're putting in a real effort, Pats, in closing down and limiting the space available to Hertha. They've done it for half an hour, and they'll have to continue it for another hour. Fahy. Wandering forward, touch from Gary Dempsey. And Friedrich back to Drobny.
It'll be easier said than done, Des, but when they do get a bit of possession, I wouldn't mind them just checking out and starting again, hitting the centre-backs, making the ball move across the back four and sucking the Hertha Berlin team out, because when they do get it, they seem to be the first thought is, can I squeeze it through a gap and get it in there? And we're giving possession away. They need to get a rest.
Barry Ryan, as he so often does, happy in advancing from his area. And that will be a Pat's free kick, well won by Gary O'Neill. Chance now just to slow it down.
And Des, I don't think there's much in that. I think it's shoulder to shoulder. He showed his scent against Cicero. Goes flying on the ground there. Good defender from Desi Byrne and good refereeing.
Short to Fahy. Here comes Drobny, who hasn't dealt with that at all under pressure from Harris. Another little encouraging sign for Pats. Drobny's the Czech Republic number 2, doesn't often play for them, obviously with Petr Cech in goal, but not too clever here.
But again, this time Kaká doesn't go for it. Drobny comes flying out. We've only seen probably Drobny twice in a game, and he's fluffed at 2 balls, so it does give you that little bit of hope.
Squeezed through by Fahy, who looks for the return from Quigley. And this time Kaká. Good piece of defending. Quigley. Fahy. And this is better. This is what you were looking for, Curtis. Just hold on to it.
Well, this is it. The more pass they have, the more time they'll get on it, Des.
The guy was a little unfortunate, just lost his footing as it came to him. Lynch has it back. Difficult ball for Fahy, though, as Pantelic slid in. And now Voronin. He's beaten Harris. Good tracking back by Kirby.
And this is where they've got to keep it, Des. They just won it back. Can we keep it for 3-4 passes? Just take the sting out of it. Be patient.
Slid through to Quigley, who takes it back from O'Neill. Desi Byrne coming forward. And still going. And the referee, he gave it in Byrne's favour at the other end. Not that time, though. A little show of frustration there from Simunic, not getting the movement ahead of him that he was looking for. Friedrich forward, play off from Voronin. And where are they going here? 3 red shirts around them, forced back to Kaká.
That's fantastic. That's a great thing for the Pats team to see. A few of them are looking a little bit tired chasing there. It's like a keep ball session where Hertha ball in, but it gives you again that little bit of confidence that when the ball goes out, they're starting to get frustrated. We've seen Simunic pointing at his midfielders. Do you want it or not?
And Johnny McDonnell must have shouted keep it 100 times in 35 minutes. That's been the mantra. Good work there from Dempsey, just easing Piszczek out of the way. Now a race on here with Dardai, and Dempsey got there first. O'Neill. The referee will bring that back. Challenge from Dardai, who didn't appreciate his pocket being picked a moment earlier by Dempsey. This will be interesting now. Will they opt to put it in on Drobny? Fahy, we know, has quality. He goes short to Guy and takes it back, and now looks to provide. Great ball round the back, 3 red shirts attacking it. And what an important header. Was it Kaká?
I didn't see Des, but what a ball in again from Fahy. Quality. We think he's going to put it straight in, but does a little 1-2 with Ryan Guy. Quality ball in there. Just looking for someone to go and attack it.
Lynch looks to put it in behind Stein, and Ryan Guy is running. He's got pace and he's got there. Look to pull it back, but Simunic, his giant frame in the way. Now Piszczek. Dardai comes left to Voronin, who has a little look. Cicero getting forward in support of Pantelic. Had his first touch been better, that would have been an opportunity. Now he puts it into the mix. Header away from Jason Gavin. Fahy. O'Neill showing well. And Fahy now picking out Quigley. Guy. Fahy's coming more and more into it, isn't he? That's what Pats will need, and O'Neill has made a good run here. Waits for the support to arrive. Guy. Not gambling on pushing too many men forward, knowing it's in the closing minutes of this first half, given away by O'Neill. Now the hard work to start all over again as Friedrich comes forward. Good win from Guy. O'Neill. Dempsey was caught. Quigley was caught, but it goes on with O'Neill. And Guy wins the free kick from a frustrated Cicero.
Again, it's better, Des. I think, you know, we have strung a few passes together, the Pats team. It caused the defenders a few problems. I'm not asking them questions, but when they do get into that final third, you've got to concentrate on keeping possession. Don't give it away when under no pressure.
Fahey's already put one great ball in there. Can't match it this time. But first to the loose one is Kirby. Lynch just puts it into the area. No trouble there for Drobny. Down the middle towards Pantelic. Desi Burns got in a little bit of a muddle, and he's there to help out Lynch. Friedrich. Concentration and discipline needed now. Voronin into the feet of Pantelic. Back to Voronin again, looking to work a yard of space. And once again, Pat's getting men around the ball, and Fahey comes away with it. Quigley for Guy. Fahey wraps that right foot around it and beautifully picks out Quigley. Who can he pick out in the centre?
Great bit of play, great ball again from Fahey, setting it off. Quigley picking that little channel up on the right and gets a great ball in across the 6-yard box. I think it's Simonich with the good defending.
It was Gary O'Neill sniffing. One of those who's been out with injury of late. It's been quite a while since he's managed a goal. What an occasion that would have been. 3 months since his last strike. And now Desi Byrne has come all the way across with this corner, left-footed in-swinger. Quigley makes his move, it's not a good corner. Wasted opportunity. Fahey. Byrne looks to do a little better this time. Quigley was pressurised, and Kaka with a little anxious look at the referee there. Inside the final 5 minutes of the first 45, still Hertha Berlin 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0. Kassar, Voronin looks for Kassar again. Kirby sliding in, Desi Burns sliding in, and to good effect as well. Fahey has that raking ball in his locker. This time Guy hadn't made the run though.
Looks like something they've worked on. Every time Fahey gets it, he seems to be looking. Stein seems to overcover the centre back and leaves a bit of a gap up on the outside of him. And it looks like every time he gets it, Fahey's having a look to see if he can get Ryan Guy in. But Ryan Guy's putting a shift in. It's hard to be at two places. He's tracking back so far, and then the shouting on him to join in there. It's quite a difficult one for him. Ryan
Guy, boundless energy, but he's been involved in 35 of their 36. Make that 36 out of 37 games this season now. Johnny McDonald tried to rest him at Windsor Park recently, but an injury to Bobby Ryan meant he was off the bench after just 14 minutes. O'Neill tangling with Friedrich. Referee happy with that. We're not so happy with the challenge there of Gary Dempsey. Taken short to Voronin. O'Neill looking to get to him and pressurise. That's been the Pats game in the first half. Lucien Favre still hasn't seen a breakthrough goal. Pantelic. Gavin well positioned, and Harris to hook clear.
Well, the good thing for Pats Des is that you haven't really, as we talked about, got a lot of width. So everything's trying to go intricate passes around the centre in front of the two centre backs and the midfielders. At the moment, Pats are concentrating on that.
And Kassar certainly doesn't want to play wide. Piszczek might be happier in a striker's role, but it's Pantelic and Voronin who are playing down the middle. And apart from that one effort from Pantelic that produced a top drawer save from Barry Ryan, they haven't threatened. Well, they'll take a lot of belief, a lot of heart from this first half performance, St. Pat's, but now it's all about that half-time whistle, getting in with that clean sheet intact. Lynch to go long. First there is Simunic. Dardai. Great work from Gary Dempsey, and he gets his head up. Looks to see what his options are. One is Quigley. Dempsey went on, wasn't done any favours though by the return ball. Pantelic away from Lynch. He's coming back for more.
Again, it's just that little bit of frustration. Pantelic, Vernon, they're trying to get that little bit of space. They're picking up just out, you know, on the corners of the box, trying to pick up little areas. Again, good play here from Dempsey. Again, bombs on, tries a little 1-2. I think it was O'Neill. But they'll have a lot of heart going into the game, and I'd say that Johnny will probably try to hammer home and say, let's have a bit more confidence on the ball. Let's believe that we can play against these guys, because I honestly do think they can.
Dardai. Piszczek back on the left-hand side. Coming in field, and again the referee not impressed as he went to ground very easily. Fahy forward, good control from Quigley. O'Neill as is his way, wants it short into feet. Desi Byrne. Kirby right at his back. Well, part one done. Pats get to half-time, 0-0 scoreline. And their vaunted Bundesliga opponents haven't been able to find a way through the key moment. A stunning save from Barry Ryan to deny Marko Pantelic. Pats have had a few moments that will encourage them, in particular Drobny and Kaka at times looking a little shaky. But at half-time, so far so good. At the Olympic Stadium, it's Hertha Berlin 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0.
The Champions League gets underway this evening on Setanta Sports. Chelsea, Bordeaux live later. We'll also bring you Marseille against Liverpool. For those of you who may not be so familiar with the sides we're watching at present, it is Hertha Berlin who play in the Bundesliga and St. Patrick's Athletic who are doing the Aircom League of Ireland proud at the break in this one. Pat Dolan and Brian Little next. League coverage gets underway in the new season this evening. Chelsea against Bordeaux is our first live game of the campaign. Champions League coverage gets underway in the new season this evening. Chelsea against Bordeaux is our first live game of the campaign. 7:05 on Setanta Ireland, and also tonight the best of the Marseille-Liverpool game, highlights from 9:50 on Setanta Ireland. Tomorrow night the choice is yours. We have 2 live Champions League games for you. It's Celtic Aalborg from 7 on Setanta Ireland, and Dynamo Kiev against Arsenal live from 7 on Setanta Sports 1. And in the UEFA Cup on Thursday night, Tottenham Hotspur against Wisla Krakow, Thursday 7:30, Setanta Ireland. Pretty much all season it seemed a fanciful notion that St Patrick's Athletic could find themselves in the group phase of the UEFA Cup, but that dream is still alive as we speak, because in the Olympic Stadium they are holding Hertha Berlin. It's 0-0 in the first leg. Brian Little, is that the first time you've seen St Patrick's Athletic?
No, I've watched them on TV a few times now, but very impressed tonight, based on the fact that in a competition like this, the goalkeeper's had 1 save to make, Barry Ryan, but he did it well, great save. They've been solid. They've passed the ball well from deep positions. And as we expected, in the final third, they haven't been adventurous, but you can't blame them. Overall, I think it's been a very good performance.
So how much credit are you going to take for the foundations laid at the club years ago?
No, none at all.
This has been hugely impressive, has it not?
I think St Pat's have been very measured in the way that they've played. I think Fahy and Dempsey in the central midfield have been outstanding, and it's not a typical Irish Aircon League performance away in Europe. They've still got that problem in the wide areas, that they're very conservative. And I remember saying at half-time at Celtic Park, when we were playing Celtic and we drew the game 0-0, I said we need an away goal. And to do that, they're going to have to show a little bit more adventure, because the ultimate tie here is not to get credit for a performance, but actually to try and go through, because they're very, very ordinary.
Understood. But, Pat, at this minute, is it a measure of the credit that St Patrick's Athletic deserve that Hertha Berlin have had essentially 2 sights of the goal in the first period?
They've been very easy in their approach. And listen, these Hertha Berlin players won't be taking the match for granted, but listen, they know this is not a tie that they will get any credit at all to win.
But they're not looking very much like winners at the moment, are they?
Yeah, Lynch may be worried about his pace there, the number 6 for St Pat's. He plays them onside. Pantelic, difficult chance for him, doesn't get a huge connection, but it actually makes it a little bit more difficult for Barry Ryan, and it's a great reaction, and also he wouldn't have expected the ball to be there.
Yeah, and I think it took a free kick for them to get another half chance. I mean, it's a difficult one to strike in, but there's a bit of blocking gone in there, so they've worked at that free kick, obviously. And, Friedrich on the right-hand side, I was expecting more. First 10 minutes, he seemed to get into the game, and then he's drifted out of the game as well. So St Pat's, like you say, wide positions have defended well.
We know that they're not the top side in German football at the moment, but Friedrich and others are established international players from some of the big countries in European football, Pat. And there are individuals in the red and white tonight who look their equals, surely.
Yeah, I mean, Dempsey and not make peace, but Fahy. And
make pass.
Yeah,
many times.
Very. I mean, that was early on in the game. He's just embraced the occasion. You see some of the Pats players, and they're a little bit wobbly in possession. This guy's loving every single minute of it. And they're playing against the opposition. Remember, Voronin is their outstanding player. If you remember him at Liverpool, he didn't really make an impression.
But if you'd have put Voronin into the Pats lineup, he wouldn't look like the best player in the red and white shirt at the moment.
Yeah, but
surely.
I think it's the choice. Here's Dempsey winning it. And you know, whenever it goes to Fahy, when it goes to Dempsey, their choice of pass, and this was an enticing little ball. Look at the commitment there of Dempsey, and he was a little bit unfortunate to get a corner, but everything good that's come from St. Pat's in terms of trying to create chances has come from that central midfield area. And normally, when Irish teams play, it's very difficult with the energy levels the central midfield players have to expand to do anything in possession of the ball.
Thank you both for the moment. Sorry to interrupt you, Brian. Not a big crowd in the Olympic Stadium in Berlin tonight. Early kick-off, of course, but the noise has come from the visiting support. And surely for St. Pat's, this is hugely encouraging, so far at least. Welcome along if you're just joining us here on Setanta Sports tonight. UEFA Cup football to get a big night underway for us. The Champions League coming later. Chelsea against Bordeaux and Marseille-Liverpool to come. But in the Olympic Stadium, it's Hertha Berlin 0, St. Patrick's Athletic 0 at the break in this UEFA Cup first round qualifier, with the prize of a place in the group stages, which would represent for Irish football in general a monumental step forward. And the dream we talked about at the start of this show, Pat, is very much alive right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but I don't think we should make judgments. We're 25% through this tie, and this isn't about getting plaudits for playing well. You have to win it, no matter how you do it. I mean, they don't look very good to me so far, Hertha Berlin, and that's encouraging. And this tie, Lucien Favre, the manager, he's got a real problem, because this is almost a job. If he loses this game, he probably loses his job. The first 20 minutes, you'd have to expect him to rattle his team, but I just hope they don't run out of legs. There's no reason why they shouldn't hit the wall, because that's gone in Berlin now, hasn't it?
Very good. Brian Little, I asked you again before kick-off this evening, having been in situations like this so often, what the priorities were. How do they change for St. Patrick's Athletic?
Well, they've got to pass better. The two best passers on the field belong to St. Pat's. The two midfield players.
And from the point of view of St. Pat's, the home side, Brian.
Well, I think they've got to stop, think about what they've done, and remember that if to get a result, that's what they've got to do the whole time. Stick to their game plan, and that's going to be vital for them. But the home side have got to do something different.
Well, it looks like they are going to do something different. It looks like a couple of changes coming.
They look like they bring on the mascot at one point there, don't they?
It comes later if they still can't break through. It's often said that when a side, especially the home team, when they're sent out early, as they appear to have been done here, that tells you the story of the day so far.
They can't be happy. They've played poorly. They've had one passing move in 45 minutes, which in fairness created a chance, but nothing else.
Let's find out more about these changes. Back to Kurdistan, Des.
Yeah, two changes from Lucien Favre tells its own story at half-time. Fabian Lustenberger, 20-year-old Swiss midfielder, and Maximilian Niku, a German midfielder. So two changes. It's a bit of a radical move. He's obviously not happy with what he's seen in the first half. And he's putting his faith in particular in Lustenberger, a 20-year-old in youth. And there is a lot of young players coming through the Berlin Academy. It's very well regarded, well recognised. Interestingly, there's only 6 Berlin substitutes named on the team sheet, but two changes at half-time. Are you expecting that, Curtis?
I wasn't. I thought maybe you would have a rocket at them at half-time and give them 5 or 10 minutes to change things, get the finger out and get the tempo of the game up. I didn't expect that, and it's quite a brave move for him. But as Pat said there at half-time, maybe he is under pressure. It could be, a job-losing result if they don't get a win tonight.
We said at the outset it's a tie that Johnny McDonnell would have been relishing. Lucien Favre, though, pretty much for him a step into the unknown and playing a side they're expected to deal with comfortably. But 45 minutes gone at the Olympic Stadium in Berlin. The era of the moral victory for Irish soccer is long gone. Johnny McDonnell's side now have to believe that they could do something in this tie.
I see Lustenberger's gone in beside Sister in the centre midfield, and Niku's gone out here on the right, and they've pushed Voronin up a little bit. I think they're going to play the two and don't let Voronin go around the park to stay in that central area just in behind Pantelic.
It's Lustenberger straight involved to Voronin. With those two in Pantelic, a shampoo sponsor would do well. Niku straight into the action, and Jason Gavin stepping across to deal with that. Lively start to the second half from the hosts. Friedrich rolls it to the feet. Friedrich has it once more. Desi Byrne looking to engage him. Here's Voronin on the edge of the Pats area. Pantelic all a little tight. Cicero gets his shot in. Came through several bodies, and Barry Ryan down smartly to his right to save.
Again, he's come through a few bodies there. Pantelic setting him up. Cicero gets it on target. And again, good save from Barry Ryan. I think John will be disappointed there that Pantelic is just dropping into those little holes. You need to get one of the central defenders to follow him in. Don't give him a chance to pick those little passes.
There's Lustenberger, knocked off it by Kirby, then Quigley though has given it away. Cicero. Nico's been heavily involved already. Pantelic slides one through for Lustenberger. Here's the other substitute, and Niku. And the changes have certainly injected some life into Hertha Berlin.
Straight away, this Lustenberger bombing on from midfield. We said that Cicero and Dardai the first half were two sitting midfielders. Lustenberger's bombing on there, great little flick back. And I think it's Niku with the shot.
No chances.
Stein's throw it. Voronin not happy with the physical nature of the challenge. The referee again though is. And Fahy biding his time, inviting Desi Byrne forward. It's a midfield quartet now of Niku, Piszczek, Cicero and Lustenberger. He doesn't look happy, does he?
7.
Kaka. Now Friedrich, who as the captain has the responsibility to get his side going. Pantelic goes back. Kaka goes forward. Voronin. Run made from midfield. Came off the heels of an unwitting Pantelic. And now Stein gets his cross in. Barry Ryan stretching, got a fingertip on it. And then Desi Byrne well positioned to deny Lukasz Piszczek.
It's a good bit of play again there. Stein bombing on up there on the left, but gets a cross, and Barry Ryan doesn't know what to do, just gets a fingertip on it and then get Desi Byrne, good block. But again, they've opened up that little bit faster up here to Berlin this second half.
Certainly more zip, more pace about them. They're asking some serious questions. When Pantelic only inches away from that. Voronin. Ryan gets a right fist on it. Danger still not clear. Oh, it's a wonderful finish. What a start to the second half. And Niku, the substitute, 4 minutes on the pitch, has produced a cracking finish.
I thought they'd ridden the storm there, Des. A couple of great blocks around the edge of the box, but again, no one charging out there to Niku. And it's a great finish from the lad. Great little touch up, and it looks like he kind of lobs it over Barry Ryan into the far corner. But again, Pats, don't panic. You would take that, you know, at the start of the game. Don't panic now. Don't lose it. Again, a great header from Friedrich. Pantelic ends up getting in the way there, the block. Little ball back in from Vorland. Barry Ryan punch out. Now you're breaking your neck to get there. Absolutely fantastic finish from Niku. He knows exactly what he's doing there, Des. He knows the keeper's out of position, and it's a great finish in the far corner.
It was second time lucky for Maximilian Niku. His first effort blocked by Pantelic. A classy finish. And all that hard work in the first half that saw them go in at 0-0. And they've been undone early in the second half. St. Pat's and Quigley won't get that decision either. It's important now that they stay solid. Don't allow Hertha to add to that quickly. Guy knocked off it by Niku. Stein and Voronin. Cicero, Lustenberger. Wide right, Piszczek, no way beyond Desi Byrne.
You see Lustenberger again. Des, as soon as he knocks it off, squared it all, he's bombing on. He knows Cicero's there to protect him. Same with Niku. Gets a chance. They're right on the front foot.
He's got a pass in his locker as well. Fabian Lustenberger provided a beauty for Marko Pantelic in the 4-1 defeat at Bayern Munich in the league. Well, you have to credit the coach though, don't you? It wasn't by any means a fluid Hertha performance in the first half, and he decided he wasn't going to wait, as many do, until 10-15 minutes into the second half, made the changes at half time, and he's got his reward.
I think it's really worked. It's a coach's dream. He's still shouting. He still knows that the game isn't over yet. He's telling them to bomb on because at the moment they're on the front foot.
Well, Pats were 2-0 down in Sweden. Came back for a 2-2 there. Scored those late goals in the home leg against Elfsborg, but here goes Pantelic. Piszczek, brave block from Desi Byrne. And he just put his hand on the back of Piszczek there.
Good brave play again there from Desi Byrne, right in the middle of it, as it usually does. Felt that in the stomach, but he's a tough lad, Desi. Good defending from him. But it's very important, as you said, Des, that they don't panic. You know, there's only 52 minutes gone, there's a long way to go. Make sure they don't score another goal, and we'll go back to Dublin. You know, 1 goal down, you never know what could happen in Chicorna, a European night.
And if they can get Fahy and Quigley involved around the Hertha box, and there are goals in the Pat side. It's handball by Kirby. The Lustenberger, in particular the goal scorer Niku, have made a difference, haven't they? Friedrich. Hertha supporters a little more vocal now. Piszczek and Friedrich going on. Voronin waiting. Now Cicero, Pantelic, and Stein getting forward a lot more in the second half, the left back. And between them, Cicero and Voronin have lost out. Here goes O'Neill, stepping in with a good challenge with Simunic. Voronin looks to squeeze one through for Pantelic, who applauds the intent, if not quite the execution.
And it's very difficult there, Gary O'Neill just losing the ball out, 3 Hertha within players, and it's easy sat here, Des, looking at it, but you need to keep possession when it gets up there. It's very difficult, but if you can do it, what a job it is for the team. Gives the team a chance to get up and get out of the edge of the box, because at the moment you just seem to be camped on the edge of the box, Pats.
And Pats a side that in the Aircom League are capable of doing what Hertha are doing to them, just keeping the ball well, dominating in terms of possession, frustrating the opposition that way. Have to play a different game this evening. Kaka, Lustenberger, Friedrich, and back to Kaka once more. Perhaps they'll be a little more patient now, Hertha. Lovely spin and turn from Pantelic. Voronin looks to return it. Quigley does well. Kirby. Again, the shout from the benches to keep it. Here's Fahy. Squeezes it forward. Stepping in was Kaka. Now Pats are going to have to get Ben back and defend again. The goal scorer, Niku. Voronin is coming on to this. Evades the first challenge, but not the second. Terrific tracking back, and not for the first time from Gary Dempsey.
Absolutely fantastic play from Gary Dempsey there. I thought Jason Gavin went flying in. I thought he was going to take Vernon down, but he rode the challenge. But he's got back Dempsey. Absolutely fantastic defending.
And Voronin, to his credit, stayed on his feet. Thought there might be a goal-scoring opportunity. Others might well have gone to deck as Jason Gavin came flying in. Here's O'Neill. Comes inside for Dempsey. Guy. Lynch. Forced back by Niku. Comes inside to Fahy. He looks for that raking ball right to left, this time for Kirby. Read by Friedrich. Lustenberger. First thought is to get moving forward. Slides in Pantelic. Voronin awaiting a delivery here. It's Pantelic's ball and Lustenberger was the late arrival. Pantelic still in there. And eventually hook clear by Kirby. Good work here from Quigley. Having a little run at Kaka. And then Friedrich showing his experience, just stepping across, running it out of play.
Again, just two half chances Berlin have had there. Again, it's from Pats, you know, just giving it away after 3 or 4 passes. Keith Fahy throwing a long pass over Friedrich there. He wins the header, midfielder picks it up, and straight away Pantelic is nearly at the edge of the box. So again, just keep the concentration, keep the ball.
Look at the options available to Johnny McDonnell on the bench if the legs begin to tire on this big pitch. Chase the ball a lot. It's got Dave Rogers, Joe Carroll, Bobby Ryan, Yaroslav Bielek, Derek O'Brien and Glenn Fitzpatrick, his outfield options. Gary O'Neill in action here, as we said, hasn't played an awful lot of first-team football in recent months. And again, that's good refereeing.
Sometimes we don't give them the credit they deserve. I think the referee's been very, very good tonight. I think you could say that was a foul.
The return leg will be played in the RDS, where there a lot of Magners League action going on. Wouldn't have been out of place, that challenge from Cicero. Oh, great header from Harris. And Simionic forced into action, and look at the reaction from the Pats players who are closing in. They know how close they were.
Great ball again, well worked free kick. It's 1v1 against Kaka, wins his header. Harrison again, Simionic just gets a foot in it. 2 Pats players closing in on him.
The front duo of Quigley and O'Neill. But what a clever header from Harris. You'd see Manny head over in those positions. Look to turn provider. Fahy teasing ball in. Now Desi Byrne. Oh, it's a loose one. Niku at pace with that long stride. Voronin. That one moment from that Fahy free kick, the Harris assist, will just give Pats again that little bit of heart that there might yet be an away goal in this for them. Scored 1 in Latvia against Olymps. Scored 2 in Sweden against Elfsborg.
I just don't think the Pats team have had the work against Elfsborg and Olymps like they had tonight, with the possession that Hertha Berlin have had. They've really probed, especially in this second half, and made them work really, really hard.
Pantelic again dropping off to pick up a great position. Here's Cicero. And it was Arne Friedrich, the captain, forward from right back as Hertha picked their way through.
Again, Pantelic picking that ball up. He comes off the centre backs really well. Good pick out from Cicero, and Friedrich gets in there. And again, he's changed his game. I think we've seen him only once in the first half, but every time he knocks it now, he's gone. He's joined in about 5 or 6 times.
Let's give credit to Alan Kirby there as well, because when Friedrich went, Kirby followed. And his presence was enough to make sure it wasn't an easy opportunity for the Hertha Berlin captain. Forward by Lynch. O'Neill is running, keeping Simionic honest. Stein away. Header from Gavin. Piszczek. An hour played in Berlin. Maximilian Niku's goal 5 minutes into the second half. The only difference between the sides is Voronin clips one forward. Niku making up the ground and Lynch forced to put it out.
made a huge impact for them. But what he's doing, he's bombing on all the time. He's showing legs. He wants to go in behind, and as a defender, there's nothing worse.
Layoff from Pantelic. Voronin bypasses Lustenberger. Friedrich. Stein. Given time and space, but can't make anything of it. Desi Byrne. Run made by O'Neill, knocked off it by Kaka. Good piece of defending. Lustenberger beaten to it by Dempsey. Really has enhanced his reputation tonight, Gary Dempsey. Here he is again.
Much as people say he works his socks off, Gary Dempsey, he is a good footballer. Very, very good footballer. Doesn't give it away willy-nilly, he always keeps it safe. And when he has to hit that 20 or 30 yard pass, he's got that ability too.
First change from Johnny McDonald, we'll see. Bobby Ryan coming on. Cicero, Voronin, Pantelic and Niku forward in support. Lovely from Voronin. Shifted the ball so well to make room for the effort, but drags it wide.
Seemed to snatch it a little bit. I thought he was going to play Pantelic, but ends up getting his toe and cuts it back inside, and be disappointed he didn't get a good strike away in that. But again, he's done okay, Voronin. He's worked well with Pantelic. He's joined up very well.
Straight swap. Bobby Ryan for Alan Kirby. Ryan looked like he might have been out of action for quite a period when he picked up that injury early against Linfield. Quick return. There's Voronin again. Improvised. Ball forward. Piszczek. Voronin, Pantelic, Cicero, Lustenberger. Run is made by Pantelic, who's popped up everywhere. Looks to sell the dummy. Lynch forced to put it behind.
Again, Lustenberger picking the pass. He made such a difference to the team in the second half. Pantelic is coming off, he's laying it off, and then he's gone again in behind, and the concentration from Damien Lynch there was very, very good to track that run.
His movement is excellent, Pantelic, as Voronin comes out towards the edge. Here's Friedrich. Good challenge from Jason Gavin. And O'Neill, free kick against Kaka. Not surprisingly, Jamie Harris just slowing it down. See, the effort is telling on the faces of the Pats players, but 1-0, still just 1-0. And once it remains that, then Pats always have a chance, and at times Hertha have looked just a little shaky at the back. Voronin, another flick. Here goes Niku. Ron Guy is quick, but can't match him that time. Pantelic backs Harris into the area. Excellent defending, Desi Byrne. Now Fahy squeezes it forward. O'Neill was clattered. Referee says play on. Cicero. Lustenberger, the most advanced in blue and white, as Pantelic slips one to Voronin. Holds off Desi Byrne. And Jason Gavin putting his body on the line.
Yes, that's an absolutely fantastic tackle there. Voronin used his body brilliantly in the box. I think he just gets on the inside of Desi Byrne there. A great block again there from Jason Gavin.
Well, stay with us here on Setanta Ireland, as later we'll be live at Stamford Bridge from 7:05. Chelsea versus Bordeaux as the Champions League group stage gets underway. Tomorrow night, 2 live games for you. Celtic versus Aalborg on Setanta Ireland. And over on Setanta Sports 1, if you're an Arsenal supporter, you can see Arsene Wenger's side in action in Kiev. Oh, it's a wonderful ball slipped through. Here's Gary O'Neill. Well, was he caught in 2 minds?
It's a great bit of play there from Pats. I didn't think they had a chance. A great ball here from Quigley. Gives everybody eyes. Great little ball. Cuts it back. Gary O'Neill just gets across the danger area, and Gary Dempsey just couldn't get there, but great bit of play.
Well, again, a little reminder from Pats to Hertha, their Bundesliga host, that they're still very much in this. Voronin. Niku again stretching his legs. Ryan Guy tracking back. Most of Guy's work has been of a defensive nature tonight. Haven't been able to really get him going forward. Pantelic. Tight, close control again. Voronin. Comes across to Friedrich. Faced by the fresh legs of Bobby Ryan. Piszczek and Friedrich together. Niku. Voronin dabs it forward. Away by Gavin. Only as far as Niku. Did he fancy it again? Stein. Spinning is Pantelic. Fouling is Pantelic.
Against that man Gary Dempsey again. I don't know how he ends up in those position, but again, it's a great defensive position he's picked up there. And wins him a free kick on the edge of his own box. It's a really, really good game tonight.
We've reached the 3/4 point. Hertha Berlin 1, St. Pat's 0. Good flick from Guy. And Simunic just standing off. And you can see the class at times in some of the more seasoned campaigners. Simunic over 60 caps for Croatia.
Just looking at Gary O'Neill, I'm just wondering how long he's going to last. He's looking tired. He's put a shift in for the team. He's worked his socks off. Saw him in the right back position there a couple of minutes ago. I'm just wondering how long he can last.
Header from Lynch. Lovely touch from Guy. Dempsey takes it back from O'Neill. That's looking for Quigley, and Kaka took a chance with his header there. Seen too much of this man Fahy in the second half. Still has that ability to turn it. He's coming forward here. That surely was a foul by Stein and could well be a yellow card. Just put his hand on the shoulder of Keith Fahy. And it was a cynical one. Knew exactly what he was doing, and that's his reward. Yellow card for Mark Stein.
It's a great burst here from Fahy. As you say, we haven't really seen him get into the game, probably because Hertha Berlin have had so much possession, but when he does that, it's a great sight, and he's got the ability to change a game in an instant.
Well, Fahy mightn't be 100% fit. Johnny McDonald was saying had the game been played on Thursday this week, then he would be. But he's a player who can finish games strongly. Desi Byrne forward to O'Neill. Ryan goes on the outside. O'Neill looks to put it in, and pats of men in here. Comes out to Guy. Quigley. Fahy. All a little tight. Fahy's looking for it again, and he's got there. Rolls it. Oh, it was a difficult ball to give, but a foul from Kaka. And this is a situation that will certainly interest Fahy.
The man again, Dempsey, definitely free kick. He's gone right through him there. He just nicked it before the tackle came in from Kaka. And Kaka does give you a belief that he will make a rick during a game. And hopefully he gets paid for this one.
Well, Fahy's trying to steal a yard here, but a very vigilant referee, eagle-eyed, not allowing it. Yaroslav Drobny waits. We've seen Fahy do it so many times domestically. Can he do it on the European stage? It's Fahy straight into the wall. Guy's flicked header, and Quigley, Mark Quigley, tried to place it. It came off Stein. Still no flag. Here's Ryan Guy goes down. And Jamie Harris is furious with the referee. And Pats are still asking the question here.
Good to see that one again, Des. The initial chance, Kaka, he looks, as I said, he looks like he's going to give you chances, and he looked like he went through the back of Ryan Guy there.
Well, his check is down. But the big question mark is over the challenge on Ryan Guy in the Hertha penalty area.
And the chance just before that as it came over to Quigley. Again, I just think Kaka's used his strength there against Ryan Guy. Probably called it too early, didn't look like a penalty. He's looking at it again. Referee's got it bang on.
Lukasz Piszczek still feeling the effects. 2 substitutions already made by Lucien Favre. Been very cool and calm in all the decisions he's made, the referee.
One thing Pats will do is they'll keep going. You know, they'll have to believe they scored late against Elfsborg, scored a couple of times away from home against them as well. And, you know, Hertha conceded late against Wolfsburg at the weekend there. So they'll say, keep plugging away, you never know. We haven't really had a clean-cut chance yet.
When you look at the 4 games they've played in Europe prior to this, on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 occasions they've scored inside the last 20 minutes, Pats. It's 5 of their 7 goals coming in the last quarter. When you have the ability to do that and it's in your mind, then you'll always believe you have a chance. Still the RDS leg to come, but what a boost an away goal would be. Lovely ball slid forward by Lynch. Dempsey, he's been everywhere. Lynch, high hanging ball. Quigley puts it in there. Defending from Friedrich. Bobby Ryan. Quigley let it run. Gets the shout from Desi Byrne. And Gary O'Neill, well, he was in the land of giants there, sandwiched between Kaka and Simunic.
It's a tough one for him there, but again, good bit of play. Mark Quigley doing very, very well. I think it was Bobby Ryan knocks it back. Good ball in from Desi Byrne. But it gives you the hope that Pats can snatch a goal here.
Good couple of minutes, but now concentration has to be at its optimum. Pantelic. It's come off Jamie Harris. It's that balancing act, isn't it, between wanting to push on, wanting to get that away goal, that equaliser, but just being careful not to concede a second.
I just think it's very hard for Pats as a team, the personnel they've got, to just sit back because they've got so many forward-thinking players in their ranks.
Cicero, Pantelic. Breakdown between those two, and well, need we mention it, it's Gary Dempsey to come away with it for Pats. Stein is quick though, and he'll get there before Guy. Inside the final 15 minutes in Berlin. Friedrich. Now Simunic. Cicero forward, Voronin. dropping off to pick up possession. Gavin came out with him. Means Harris, just for a moment, was one-on-one with Pantelic. Here's Voronin, still going Andre Voronin, and the loose ball is turned in. Pats have conceded a second. Cicero from midfield, and it's a cruel, cruel blow for the Aircom League side.
Disappointing goal there, Des. Voronin, all about Voronin there, gives a 1-2, Pantelic gets into the box, gets his shot away, just deflects, and I think Barry Ryan slips as he comes out to get it, and Cicero, but again Voronin, great ball into Pantelic, and then he goes again, sorts his feet out here, gets his shot away, and then the ball breaks, and just as Barry Ryan goes to move, he slips, and gives Cicero the chance just to toe poke that into the bottom corner.
In games like this, you really do need that little bit of luck, that little break, and the deflection of Jason Gavin could have gone anywhere, ran kindly for Cicero. And as Barry Ryan lost his footing, the Brazilian finished 2-2 for him. He's done well for his new club. And that second goal, and it really does put it up to St. Pat's now.
Again, it was about Voronin picking it up 40 yards from goal. Great ball into Pantelic, and then drives on again and creates havoc in the Pats box.
And can they do something here? Is there a quick response? It'll be Desi Byrne. Needs a good delivery, hangs it up. Plenty of height in it, not much pace. Jamie Harris will look to pressurise Friedrich here. Lynch. Dempsey knocks it inside, but the only man there is the goal scorer, Cicero. And now Voronin. Loose one from Voronin, straight to Dempsey. Quigley. Guy to his right. Bobby Ryan and Gary O'Neill going through the middle. Quigley, little no-look pass into O'Neill. Lots of blue and white shirts to try and pick a way through here though. Fahy. Being forced out. O'Neill and Quigley, the two centre forwards. And 4 players ahead of them in red. Dempsey, Fahy. Dempsey again. Quigley's little touch. O'Neill for Fahy. Wants a runner, it's Damien Lynch. Stein wanted to let it run. In the end had to play with it and dealt with it well. Voronin on with it quickly. Pantelic. Well read, Jason Gavin.
I wonder if John McDonald's thinking about making a change now. Maybe bring Glenn Fitzpatrick on. There's a little bit of aerial threat if he comes on. 6'1", might cause a problem.
Well, they certainly can't afford to concede a third. Guy inside to O'Neill. Little nibble from Lustenberger. Well, what do you do now? If you're Johnny McDonald, Curtis, do you try and push for that away goal, or do you just say we'll take 2-0 and try and do it at home?
I think you've got to try and get them back to the RDS. It's going to be a long 10 minutes here now, but I still think they might just create one little chance with the quality of player that they have on the park. And as I said, it's very, very difficult for these players to sit back and soak it up. You know, you got Quigley, O'Neill, Fahy, Guy, all attacking-minded players. So we'd be saying, you know, let's concentrate, but you know, if we get a chance, let's break on them.
Lustenberger standing off Fahy. Cicero wasn't as kind to him though, and now Voronin scampering forward, and Niku has the legs to get in behind Lynch. Voronin and Pantelic away across here. Here's Voronin. First touch let him down. Dempsey goes right. Ryan. Is there going to be that one moment for Pats before the final whistle here? Fahy takes over. Straight to Friedrich though. Now Piszczek. The Pats bench still on their feet, asking their players to chase the ball. They've been doing that for 81 minutes.
Wondering if Keith Fahy again's got the socks down. He's very tired in there. Wasn't expected to play. Maybe the injury's picked up now when you get a bit tired.
Cicero strolling forward. No need to tell you what country he's from. Stein puts it in there, and Cicero's header.
Great bit of play, great bit of play. And again, we've seen Stein bombing up here on the left. I think he does about 8 step over. Cicero gets the ball out and then follows his pass again, which Hertha have done in this second half, and that's what caused Pats a big problems. But when they've played, they've gone again for the 1-2s and to join up straight away.
Pantelic won't add to his goals tally. Taking his time going off as well. Some of his first touch play has been a joy to watch tonight. Hasn't really threatened in front of goal, had that effort denied by an unbelievable Bobby Ryan save in the first half. He's replaced by Valeri Domovchivsky, a Bulgarian international who Blackburn were trying to take in on loan in January. Also a change for Pats. Gary O'Neill, not surprisingly, we didn't think he'd finish the game, and Glenn Fitzpatrick coming on. Fitzpatrick, one of those who was on that Shelburne squad in 04. There's Domovchivsky. Holds the honour and will always hold the honour of being the last man to score against Oliver Kahn when he beat him on the final day of last season. Just 21 years of age. There's a lot of youth around the Hertha Berlin side. Married with some of the experienced heads like Friedrich and Simunic, Pantelic and Voronin now.
It was interesting to see that when he did sign, I think they wanted Levski Sofia. I think he came from 1.6 million, but he'd had a lot of problems and they lowered the price, so to give him a chance to come to Germany, I thought it was you don't usually hear that in transfers.
Referee again says play on, slipped through, and Bobby Ryan stretching, couldn't keep it in, couldn't take it in. And an opportunity has gone a-begging, but again, Curtis, you wondered if that opportunity would arrive.
But again, we were saying with the quality, Keith Fahy picks it up, maybe not running around as much now, he's knackered, but he can pick a pass. He's a great pass there. Just Bobby Ryan just couldn't get his toe on. It was a good chance. And
it was Kaka again, wasn't it, at the heart of it, in a negative way from a Hertha Berlin point of view, as he came forward, got a little bit cocky with it, knocked off it and left that room in behind. And the Olympic Stadium might be what at best a third full, capacity of over 75,000. If it is to be 2-0 at the final whistle, then here's hoping that fans turn out in huge numbers, that they can pack the RDS, make it a night to remember. And you never know if Pats could get an early goal there. This tie certainly isn't over.
No, definitely not. And I think Hertha Berlin playing at home are a different team than they are when they play away from home. And I think if you put them under a lot of pressure at all, I think Kaká will give you a chance in the game. And if you can't score, you know, the RDS, let's get it packed in. Let's get the place hopping.
And if they get a referee who just tends to let things go, the physical side of the game, within the rules of course, and you'd wonder, will Hertha fancy it in Dublin?
Will they be complacent, Des? That could be a big problem for them. Will they think the job is done now? Game's over?
Well, the manager's team selection will be interesting because, well, albeit with an 8-1 win in their first qualifying round, first leg against Nistru of Moldova, completely changed the side for the second leg. Give a lot of the youngsters, and we're talking teenagers here, an opportunity in the second leg. Too much at stake though, you'd imagine.
Definitely Des. There's no way. I think he'd be putting his most experienced team back out there. The only thing is maybe Lustenberger and Niku have made a good argument for themselves to start in Dublin. They've really made a big difference to this team the second half.
Four minutes plus whatever the referee will choose to add on. Cicero, who has certainly shown glimpses, and Voronin does well to evade Dempsey. Cicero certainly has the legs, and when you consider, as we mentioned earlier, he played in Copa Libertadores already this season and got all the way to the final, scored their Fluminense's only successful penalty in the shootout defeat to Quito of Ecuador. But he looks fresh. Gets his goal tonight to add to one against Wolfsburg here on Saturday. He looks a useful addition. Only on loan at the moment, but I'd imagine if he continues to show up as he has done in the early stages of his Hertha career, then the Berlin outfit will move to make that a permanent deal pretty quickly. Guy did enough to make life difficult for Stein. This will allow a crossing opportunity for Lynch, and Fitzpatrick, of course, is the aerial option in there now, and Friedrich has put it behind, and the Pat supporters find their voice here.
It's interesting as well that Hertha Berlin, they mark zonal, they don't seem to go man for man. Hopefully Jamie Harris could get a run on one of them. Some people like the formation, I don't really like the zonal stuff. And you can see them along the edge of the 6-yard box.
Those are the three obvious targets. Harris, Gavin, Fitzpatrick needs a good delivery. Fahy can normally provide little touch. It just wouldn't fall kindly for a red and white shirt.
And just when you need that little bit of luck, there's a great flick on the near post. Just doesn't follow a pass player.
Jamie Harris has stayed forward. Fitzpatrick. Desi Byrne inside. Harris still awaiting a delivery. It's a loose one from Dempsey, a rare mistake from him tonight. And the attacking option, that momentum is gone.
There's no way the Pats have been outclassed tonight though, Des. You know, there've been bits of quality from both teams, maybe not as much from St. Pat's. Hertha Berlin have had the ball a lot, but really, you know, they haven't been frightening Hertha Berlin, and Johnny Mack will be taking probably all the positives that he can from this.
Domovczycki, first real involvement for the substitute. Voronin's layoff, and Cicero with the vision just to bring Friedrich into it. Fitzpatrick getting back there, forcing Friedrich back, and now Voronin neat and tidy on the ball, as we would have expected. Lustenberger, Cicero, Voronin again. This time, well, it was Dempsey. He's feeling that now. He's covered an awful lot of ground, Gary Dempsey. He's a cramp, or did he just get his studs caught in the turf?
Took a bit of cramp maybe around the hamstring area. Very important that they save and don't let him run the last couple of minutes. He might end up pulling it, and they missed it for 3 or 4 weeks. He's been outstanding tonight.
He really can't afford to concede again, Pats. As Piszczek can't find a way beyond Desi Byrne. Now Bobby Ryan. Hands from Piszczek. We saw Stein booked for something reasonably similar earlier. Jaroslav Bielek will come on for the injury time period of this game, whatever the referee will add on. And he will replace Dempsey. No chances taken. Dempsey's been exceptional tonight.
Hopefully that's just a bit of cramp. Desney won't miss him, you know. Hopefully it's not a little tear or anything like that, but he didn't seem to be in a lot of pain. He's worked his socks off tonight for that 90 minutes. One of the outstanding players for St. Pat's tonight.
Bielek, who started the last two with Fahy out injured. Harris was climbing. Harris has been penalised. Well, when Johnny McDonald sits down and reviews the DVD of this one, Curtis, what will he be looking at in terms of how they can get at Hertha in the second leg?
And I think it was possession. Hertha Berlin, especially in the second half, really kicked on a little bit. I think they probably shocked Pats a little bit. Pats were probably expecting the same from the first half, but he made the 2 substitutions and it worked for him. But I just think that playing at home, keep the ball, concentration, put them under a little bit more pressure around the box, because defensively they do look a bit shaky now and again.
Quickly looking to work something on the edge. Pats will have to settle for a throw-in. Seconds ticking away in Berlin. Bialek takes it back from Lynch. Fahy looks for one in behind. Too much on it though for Damien Lynch. And safely into the hands of Yaroslav Drobny. Harris tangling with Domowczycki. Quick feet from Bobby Ryan. Rolls it to Fitzpatrick. Kaka read that and got a little touch of luck there as Ryan almost rebounded kindly for him. And now to the other end, Domowczycki backing up Jamie Harris. Oh, Desi Byrne. Could be a touch of cramp as well. His check. And that's a foul by Bobby Ryan.
She looked a bit of a tired tackle there, and Bobby Ryan, he's tried to bomb on there, tried to link up with Glenn Fitzpatrick. He ends up having to run 50-60 yards back, and it's just a tired challenge, and they've really got to concentrate now on this set piece that they don't concede again.
A big moment this as Voronin surveys his options. 5 in the box to aim for, and that will go behind for a goal kick.
One thing that John will look back at this season and say he has scored 2 goals on a couple of occasions in Europe.
Well, the half-time switch has changed it for Hertha Berlin. The arrivals of the goal scorer Niku and Lustenberger gave them that extra impetus, and Cicero's second goal on 76 minutes means it's a mountain to climb for St. Pat's back at the RDS. But it's not over, and if Pats can score first back there, then we might see what Hertha Berlin are made of. But the Bundesliga outfit, frustrated in the first half, found the goals in the second, and they look favourites now to go on. Full time in Berlin, Hertha 2, St. Patrick's Athletic 0.
Desmond Curtis, thank you very much indeed. It does look a tall order from here, but we've seen plenty from St. Patrick's Athletic tonight that they should be proud of, and maybe there might yet be a twist in this tale in the second leg. Pat Dolan, your thoughts?
I thought that it was an encouraging first half, very disappointing second half. Obviously, the changes that were made by Hertha Berlin at half-time were the difference. John McDonald tactically got it right in the first half, but lost the half-time battle. But I didn't like the way that Pats were approaching some of their players, saying that, hey, this is the biggest games of their careers. I think the next game, you can see by some of the things that went on in that second half why they're 16 points behind Bose in the Aircom League.
Brian Little?
Yeah, I think full marks to Lucien Favre. I thought, half-time was a great decision to change your team. A lot of managers might have waited longer. Changed it at half-time. The second half tempo, the first 10 minutes has won them the game, hasn't it? He's changed personnel, changed the tempo of the game, put the away side under pressure, and really changed the whole format of it all.
And suddenly St. Patrick's Athletic were firmly on the back foot, really for the first time in the tie, Pat, wasn't it?
Well, I mean, it was... This is when the first 10 minutes of the second half was a real test for St. Pat's, because you'd have to say the coach had gone in, and it wasn't just that it was 0-0 at half-time, but Barry Ryan's only had one save to make, and as soon as the second half started, it was a different Hertha Berlin team.
What exactly did change from the home side, apart from the individuals?
Well, I think his setup was better as well. I think he had a couple of midfield players.
Stein started arriving down the left like that.
I think Stein and Nico on the left-hand side made a big difference. Again, for me, Lustenberger started making runs from midfield. So it was his whole team setup, and he put St. Pat's under pressure. That's a great finish, I mean, I think there's one chance Off the line, you could say another. Well, that's unlucky from Berlin's point of view. You know, that's a defensive help for them. And look at this. That's a great volley. And the keeper's unlucky that he's actually punched it to the man. But perhaps you would say, you know, another time, punch it a bit higher if you can. But unlucky.
See, suddenly it starts to look like one of those all too familiar occasions where a League of Ireland side suddenly, unfortunately, looks overmatched in European football early in the second half. But even with that, they did work their way back into the game, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's a mental thing. I agree with what Brian says there about the goalkeeper was unlucky, the punch wasn't great, but on the way out before that first goal, he actually tapped Pantelic, who'd stopped the shot. I mean,
but they did regroup, Pat, didn't they?
Yes, they did regroup, but I think it's a very, very poor Hertha Berlin defence. And at 1-0, you'd have had to expect that it was going to be very difficult for the German side in the second leg, because let's remember, they get to the RDS and they'll be playing on a rugby pitch, which there's another game here this weekend. It's going to be damaged. It would have been a very uncomfortable environment. But that wasn't a penalty shout, and it looked as though that when you'd expect that Hertha Berlin would go on and win the game comfortably, that their defensive frailties, I mean, the centre-half Kaka was an appalling player.
There is another theory to that at 1-0 down, you settle for 1-0.
But it wasn't.
And, you know, they came out and tried to get back in. Now, you know, there is a belief.
And in the great scheme of things, would you agree, Brian, with Pat, that essentially, reading between the lines of his argument, it's 2-0, it's what was expected to happen, it's what Hertha would accept as the bare minimum, and from here it'll be the same old story, unfortunately.
I think there is a strong possibility that that is the case. What I would say, and again in total agreement with Pat, the Hertha Berlin defence is not good. You know, the 3 or 4 balls they got into the box, they look very disorganised. I think they've got to have a game plan in the second leg to get in amongst them, get at them, give it everything they've got. They might have a chance.
And how realistic a hope would that be for St Patrick's Athletic?
Well, I think the worst part of their team for me is their back four. And I think you need to
the
go
visitors, Hertha.
I think Hertha.
Would you change it around personnel-wise?
Well, I think you would just ask the wide players to be brave, to get balls into the box and to try and attack the final third of the field.
OK, well, let's hope that at least some of that message does get through to John McDonnell, because it's been a fantastic run so far for St Patrick's Athletic, and we hope it can continue even at 2 down. Thank you for just a moment or two to Brian and to Pat, but there is lots from those two to come. Next up, it will be the Champions League here on Setanta Sports tonight. That is after a word from somebody else who is likely to feature quite extensively in the months ahead.